Welcome everybody to episode 14 of Lights and Dice. It's been a little bit of a while. We've been sort of consumed, I think, in part by the World Cup that has now ultimately finished. But there's been quite a few bits going on in Vegas as well that we're going to talk about today. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. I've got this toothache. We were just talking before we came out. I've managed to get toothache, like literally 2 days before I go on vacation. So that is not great. However, I have been to the dentist. I am now dosed up on various different forms of medication. So hopefully that's going to get me through not only this episode, but then the next few weeks before I have to come back and actually get my tooth sorted out. So there's that.
Here you go. Our listeners have always wanted a Steve on various drugs episode. So
yeah, well, exactly. I mean, and I have had my mouth numbed today. So right now it's okay. It's worn off, so I can talk normally. But it would be quite amusing, I think, to put the numbing gel back in halfway through this and see how that turns out. We're not going to do that, but
well,
yeah. Thankfully, at the moment, I can speak, or not. Thankfully, if you find me speaking annoying, I suppose.
I guess. I mean, I would hope that most of our listeners don't.
I would hope so too. But you never know. You
Never
can't
fear.
be liked
If
by
they
everyone.
do, they don't have to worry because I am also here. So
Yes. And how are you? How are things?
things are good. I mean, it's really hot. It's really sticky and humid in Vegas right now, which we always have. They call it monsoon season,
Yeah.
and we're kind of in it right now. Where not only is it 107 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that means in your made up temperature, but
No, like 40 or something, I guess. That's
I don't know,
hot,
something
though.
like that. Yeah. It's really hot, but it's also really humid because it's it doesn't even really rain. It just kind of sort of rains enough so that the air
Yeah.
is wet, and it's
Is
just
it?
kind of really miserable.
Is it quiet right now?
No, well, it's hard to say now because during World Cup we got bailed out pretty good for normally this time of the year it's not that busy just
Yeah,
because it's
that's
so
what I was
hot.
thinking. Yeah.
Although with World Cup we had some pretty good activity, especially at the sportsbook and in Stadium Swim directly at work, which are two great places to watch anything like that. But now that we're on regular season baseball and that's about it, we will see how it is.
And obviously, I think we touched on this in a previous episode, but no games were played in Vegas because the pitch is not the required size at Allegiant for.
Yeah, and I saw an article about it too because people were like, I feel like
Yeah,
the
me
final
too.
would have been in Las Vegas or something. And they were talking further about the logistics on it and how it was too expensive when they'd already committed to a plan for Allegiant.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think I saw the same article, but they were saying in it, I think, that they knew the World Cup was coming when they made the decisions they made, and they still
Yeah.
made the decision not to do it. So that's interesting. Because yeah, you would have thought. I think we touched on this before, but you would have thought Vegas would have been the perfect location to hold some games.
At least some quarterfinals or something. And I mean, to be honest, I get it's a big stadium and it's a noteworthy stadium. It's
Yeah.
MetLife, but they called it New York, New Jersey. But that's just in the middle of nowhere. It's one of the worst
Yeah.
stadiums for tourism to get there because
Super
they even had a
difficult to
guy.
get to. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy. I think he was I don't know. He worked for some TV broadcasting company or whatever. It's not really that important, but they're based out of Manhattan, and he was trying to because the city raised the price of the subway to $150 or something like that to get to MetLife because they can, and then FIFA controls the parking, so it's $200 to park there. So the only
Yeah.
two ways you can get there, pretty much. So someone was like, "Okay, we'll just walk." And so he's just all right, let's go on a field trip from Manhattan and we'll walk to New Jersey where the
Oh
stadium
my
is in the
God.
middle of the largest parking lot on the planet. And he's basically just could you physically do it? Yeah, but you're never going to do it. So it's just a weird spot to have it. Atlanta would have been a good spot where England played their semifinal.
They had to.
I think-
They had to rename all the stadiums too because FIFA don't allow any kind of sponsorship deals that aren't with FIFA.
Yeah,
So
they had to
MetLife
unname
was
them.
not known as Met. Yeah, exactly. The MetLife was not known as MetLife. It was just known as I don't know, New Jersey.
It was New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Yeah. So I find that amusing, particularly if you look at some of the images where they'd covered up the logos with just these sheets.
Well, yeah, some brands did a good job,
Yeah.
still making publicity out of it too. I think Levi's, because they have Levi Stadium in
Sure.
another one that's bad for people who don't already live in that area, but the San Francisco-esque area. They just like covered up the Levi's logo in like a white drop cloth, but like perfectly to the shape of the logo, and then they changed all their social media pictures and stuff like that to that. So it was
That's
pretty
quite a
funny.
clever idea. Yeah, that's quite good because then it's still like the brand. I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, yeah, like Heinz did it too. I think because like FIFA even went so far as to put like masking tape over the Heinz logo on like ketchup and stuff in
Oh
sweets.
my god.
So they posted it too with like a picture of their ketchup with like black electrical tape across the logo.
I would be interested to know how that works because, like, with maybe not so much with the ketchup, but for instance with the stadium name, like those companies have spent a lot of money clearly sponsoring those stadiums. Like, how does FIFA manage to say, well, you can't have it for this competition? I mean, I don't get that.
Well, it's not just them, right? UEFA's the same, right?
Yeah,
Aren't they? Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I think so. But I just don't understand how, like, I don't know, Levi's is okay with that. Like, because surely it's like, well, we've got a contract, we're sponsoring this stadium for X number of years. Why should we not be allowed to have our logo all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
you
wonder
can't
if
tell me
FIFA
every
pays them.
single, yeah, because every single competition can't have in, they can't, it can't be in the contract, oh, you're allowed to not have the logo there for these competitions, because who knows which competitions are going to be in the US or not. Anyway, I don't know. So did you enjoy the World Cup?
I did. I thought it was good, and it was unique for us over here too because it's always some time zone that makes it really weird in the states.
Yeah.
Like the latest you'll be watching is like an 8 a.m. game or something like that. So it's really hard to get dialed into it. Whereas here, when they're going off at noon to make it still good for Europe and stuff, but like it's a real time, so it's kind of cool, and you're able to follow it, and I think that helped to grow it a lot in the U.S. too, and Canada too. Canada made a big run.
Yeah, it seemed to really take off, didn't it? I mean, at first I thought, before the competition, I thought, is it gonna? And then it more than did. It was a, a great tournament. Even if I had to get up at 1 a.m. to watch games, it was worth it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and plus from a sports betting standpoint too, I think there's a lot of people that maybe it's just the degenerate in us or something, but there's a lot of people just betting on the games they're watching because they're there. So you hear people talking like, "Oh yeah, well, I've got anytime goal scorer from this guy. Like he seems like he's bound to break out, and I don't like clean sheets from this from this goalie, and like." But everyone's learned that all the bets only go through 90, and it doesn't go into extra time unless you pick on to advance. Like, but people didn't know that about soccer or football, and I'm saying soccer because they're Americans, but they didn't know that before. Like that, everyone knows that's a bet who follows the sport
Yeah.
already. But we got probably a lot of new betters to it too.
Yeah, and there was a fair few upsets as well in this competition, so I bet some people lost some money and made some money on those sort of long shots, where perhaps the favourite either didn't win or, in more cases, it was like a draw.
Yeah, well, especially in the group stage too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like every Cape Verde game.
yeah, I was going to say, and Cape Verde and Spain, right? They drew, and no one expected that.
It's the only team that didn't beat, or Spain didn't beat,
Yeah,
is Cape Verde.
so there we go.
And they almost advanced past Argentina too. Imagine how that would have changed things.
Oh my god.
You
Like,
know, FIFA would never let that happen, though.
no, let's not go down that. Let's not go down this route. Oh, that was
FIFA from the
painful.
top ropes.
That was even more painful because we were so close. When I say we, I mean England, and obviously, like the tactical decisions, I think were a big error of judgment from the manager, and I do think that cost us because we scored and then we literally like took all those players off and tried to defend for 30 minutes, which made no sense to me, particularly against a team like Argentina. We'd kept Messi quiet for most of that match, and then all of a sudden we're just going to let him have free reign. Man.
Yeah, well, and I think too, after you got scored on, you kept being defensive, and it's like, okay, well, at
Yeah.
some point you're going to have to score here.
Yeah,
So-
well, by the time they got that equalizer, I was like, and I'm not to be like a pessimist, but I was like, you know what, this is done. They're gonna score again. We're not even gonna get this to extra time. And even if we do, we've taken off our attackers. So I think
Yeah,
we
Rice.
should have brought Rashford on earlier. Um, if Gordon had to come off because he was tired or whatever, bring Rashford on and like keep the ball, run for the ball. Hold up play. Don't bring on some defenders to try and defend a 1-0 lead. Yeah. So, hey ho, another tournament, another loss. At least we came third, and that third place game against France was awesome.
That was
I don't know if you
exciting.
saw that game.
I did watch it.
That was such a
Arsenal
game.
dominated. All the Arsenal players you could have played in the semifinal,
Yeah,
they
it's
all dominated that game.
always has to come back to Arsenal.
Well, but the reality is it does. So, Declan Rice set up your goal in the semifinal. Then they pulled him off, and they didn't put any of the other Arsenal players on there. Apparently, Saka was okay to play in a meaningless match for third, but not for the important game in the semifinals. And he got a hat-trick in that game. So in the third place
that
game.
is true. But controversially, I don't think Rice had a brilliant tournament. I think Rice is a better player than we saw at the World Cup.
That's possible. I think he's hurt too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They had a stat too that they were talking about minutes played by Declan Rice, and it was higher than minutes played by Chelsea, minutes played by Manchester United. It's whole teams that have played less than he has in the last last calendar year, I guess. But it's wild. I kind of wish they sat more of them more often, to be honest. But
he was also he was sick at one point, and you could tell in that game that followed that the one where he was sick. You could tell. I think he came off at halftime. But yeah. Hey, you know what? We gave it a good run and best result for us since 1966. Best result for Canada since
ever.
So
ever. They'd never until this.
It was a good tournament.
Until this World Cup, they had never won a World Cup game. They also had never gotten a point. So their very first group stage game was a draw. So that was the first point they ever got. And then I was at their very first win against Qatar, 6-0.
Of course,
so that was a fun time.
You went to that game, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a great time. And then they won a knockout round too.
So you were happy with their performance overall?
Oh yeah, you couldn't not be. I mean, it would have been disappointing if they didn't make the knockout stage. Because they had a group that was set up that they should have been able to do it. They've been investing so much into at least trying to grow the sport, not necessarily they're going to be one of the elite teams or anything, and then winning the first round was icing on the cake.
Yeah, and actually I think there's definitely something in having that home advantage. I thought Canada played particularly well when they were playing in Canada. And of course, Mexico the same. And the US, in fact. But obviously, with the majority of the games being in the US, I don't think that necessarily shone through as much. Whereas, Mexico, 100% played better in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, and plus they have the altitude advantage, too. Whereas they're up against a lot of places that aren't used to that. I mean, it's too bad that Canada couldn't win their group because they would have stayed in Vancouver for 2 more games.
Yeah, do you think that would have made a difference? It's hard.
Well,
I don't know who they would have ended up
Switzerland
playing.
won that game, so they would have basically taken Switzerland's spot.
Yeah.
They would have switched. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think they would have probably won the first game either way, and they probably would have lost the second game either way. But it's hard to say.
All right, well, let's touch on some Vegas-y stuff. One thing I wanted to bring up, and I really thought about this the other day when I was just watching some Vegas vlogs, catching up on some of the Vegas vlogs, and actually a vlog from, I'll give a shout out to Team Claire Vlogs, which is a British. Have you ever watched them, Team Claire?
No.
No, so British, sort of a family initially, but they used to bring their son with them to Vegas, but now he is 18 and he's joined, I think, the RAF. So he is no longer in the vlogs at the moment. He hasn't been on the recent Vegas trip. So it's sort of husband and wife, British couple. Actually live in Scotland, I think. So, but anyway, I was watching their vlog and I really noticed as they were walking down the strip that that sort of guitar tower is really taking shape now. Pretty much impossible to miss. So it got me thinking, we're getting to that point now where I think Hard Rock, I saw as well, is recruiting senior managers. It's opening next year. Is the Mirage era now truly in the rear view mirror? And is Hard Rock going to be able to bring back the magic that Mirage had? I guess is my question.
Well, I guess the follow-up, I'm not really sure. But yes, Mirage is definitely in the rearview mirror. I drove by it the other day, and I mean, they gutted all the glass and stuff from the Mirage. There's nothing gold there anymore. I mean, the guitar tower is a pretty obvious statement piece that people can see the development on. But yeah, like those. Also, like I keep looking at that property and I'm like, are they going to be done on time, or are they going to? I don't know, because if I'm them,
Well,
I
yeah.
wouldn't open just the guitar will probably be done. It's practically finished on the outside, so I'm sure that part will be done. But I don't feel like if I'm them, you just open half. Like I wouldn't just open the guitar or something and finish up the main Mirage Tower. But it doesn't look like it's close.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to do it sort of half-assed, I guess. You want to make sure that if you're going to do it, you do it properly. So whether that means a slight delay or whether they're on time and we just don't realize it and they're going to super quickly do whatever they've got left to do, I don't know. But I just felt as though it was finally really taking shape. And it might have been taking shape for a long time now and I just haven't noticed it because I hadn't been looking for it as such. But last time I was in town, I don't remember really visually picking up on it, even though it was being constructed. Whereas now I feel like it is.
Yeah, and you really notice it too. I mean, it's because it's right on the strip too. Like most of the hotel towers are pushed back a bit, so
Yeah,
that way you walk through the casino to get to the hotel, right?
yeah.
Um, but this is like right on the strip. It's where the volcano was, basically. So I mean,
It's going to
some of those
change.
spots on the edge might even like hang over Las Vegas Boulevard. I don't know. They're closed.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it going to change the look of the strip? You know, those sort
100%.
of, those sort of images you get of, even cartoony images of the strip. It's going to change the face of it, so to speak.
Well, and plus when the guitar's up, not only is the guitar shape really noticeable, their strings are lights too. Like I don't think they're like
Oh
Luxor
yeah,
beams or something like that, but like those strings are lights that go up. So you're gonna notice it even more that way.
because there is already another one in Florida, right? Is there only one, or is there more than one? But there's definitely one in Florida.
I think they only have one guitar.
Yeah, yeah. So we kind of have an idea of what it's gonna look like, but I feel like it's just gonna be more grand in
Yeah,
Vegas.
I think it's Hollywood, Florida. I think that they have the other one in,
Oh, okay.
and I'm sure they're just using that as like a prototype. But
Yeah.
yeah, just times 10 or something. It's Vegas, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the original, but this one's gonna be like 10 times better. We'll see. I reserve judgment. I'm gonna have to stay there once it
Well, I mean,
opens.
I'm curious to see what they would start offering people internationally because they've got to have a decent European market as it is because Florida's a pretty big hub for that, and they're the only game in Florida.
Yeah, and also like they were controlling Mirage, right? So they were running Mirage for like a year or two under the Mirage brand. So they're going to have some customers already from then.
Yeah, in
So
theory, I don't know if they bought. I don't think they bought Mirage's database, but obviously they would have inherited people as they came.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So like I played there after the takeover.
There you go. You're
So
gonna get mailers.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think I played that big though. It's going to be interesting to see where they sort of go in terms of offers and comps and all that sort of stuff. Because I always think with these new places, it's normally difficult at first unless you're a substantially big player. But we'll
Maybe.
see.
I mean,
We'll
I
see.
can see both sides of it too, right? Because new
Yeah.
properties bring in people just because they want to check it out
Yeah,
on
and
one
people are
hand,
probably
and then on
willing
the
to
other
pay.
hand, yeah. But on the other hand, like, are you desperate to bring people in so it's packed right from the beginning, or what? So, I can kind of see both angles of it.
Yeah, and like Fountain Blue didn't do any status matching at first and such, and then they basically reverse course on that. It'd be interesting to see if again that plays a factor. I know Hard Rock did already do a status match when they took over Mirage, so it'd be interesting to see if they do anything like that. Obviously, you run the risk of people just coming along and matching their status and taking the free play or freebies or whatever, and then never coming back. But also, like, it is a way of getting gamblers in, I think, to try out your property. So, it'd be interested to see how that goes. I guess we'll find out.
In the eventual future, yeah. When's it supposed to? It's supposed to be the end of next year, right? I think they were saying.
I know it's 2027, but I don't know off the top of my head without looking the exact date. But it must be towards the end, you would think, towards the
Well,
latter
I can
part
tell
of the
you it's
year.
not going to be January. So,
Oh yeah, obviously not. Yeah, so let's see. Let me see if I can find the date. Hold on. You entertain the audience.
oh well, now I got all the pressure. No, I think it's I don't know. I'm excited for it because I think that they have the privilege of being in a good location for to start over because all the new stuff keeps going in and like I mean like Resorts World is kind of close to the strip. Fountain Blue isn't very close to the main part of the strip, so they're kind of dealing with being on an island there and trying to draw people to a place they wouldn't have otherwise gone unless it was a convention, I guess. Whereas Mirage is like I used to park there all the time when I first moved here, meeting friends on the strip just because it's so central and it was free. Rest in peace, free
I
parking.
just used to like Mirage because it had that nostalgia value. Like for me, like Vegas Vacation, just the Mirage was one of those places that people knew about knew about Vegas because of it. I haven't worded that well, but you know what I mean. People associated with it and thought of it like they think of Caesars, like they think of Bellagio fountains. The volcano is one of those iconic parts of it, and Siegfried and Roy and all that sort of stuff as well. So
Did you ever stay at Mirage?
no, I didn't. I stayed at Treasure Island when it was attached to Mirage. Although actually no, I believe it had been taken over by Ruffin by that point. But it was still kind of felt like it was part of Mirage, even though it wasn't. But I don't think I actually stayed. Or maybe I did once, actually.
I did once.
Yeah, I feel like actually maybe I did once too. I definitely played there. Because obviously it was part of the MGM brand at the time. Maybe I stayed there. I can't remember. I mean,
It
there
was
wasn't.
like I stayed there. It was the second hotel I think I stayed at in Las Vegas since I was 21. I mean, like I'd been a bunch of times like for racing and stuff before I was 21, but
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
So my second hotel ever was Caesars Palace. My
I've never
first
stayed at
was
Caesars.
my first was Treasure Island, and then I did. I'm now thinking out loud. All the hotels I stayed at. I then stayed at Paris. I've stayed at Planet Hollywood.
À la Paris.
This was when I was a Caesars guy. And where have I done since? So I've done Nomad, which is no longer Nomad. It's called the Reserve. But I've done Nomad like 2 or 3 times.
I've stayed at Nomad too.
I've done Bellagio. I have done the Win. I have not stayed at Encore, but they've refurbed the rooms now, so I'm tempted. I always just liked the Win side. Obviously, I've stayed at Circa. I have stayed at the Plaza. I'm trying to think where else I've stayed. There must be more. I must be forgetting some.
I mean, I would assume MGM Grand, right?
Oh yeah, I've stayed at MGM Grand, of course. I stayed at the Skylofts.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
not a
God.
big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal. I just left that out on purpose so you could
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
it and then I could drop it
Yeah,
in.
so I could bring it up and you can talk about all the times you ate at Joel Rubicon.
Yeah, I went to the mansion for breakfast. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you know, and had a croissant.
I've never stayed at Park MGM. I haven't yet stayed at New York, New York, but I may do a night at New York, New York in the near future.
That was the first place I stayed before I moved here. Was New York, New York.
Yeah,
I
I kind
think
of.
I've stayed at Monte Carlo once,
Oh, I
like
stayed at
before.
Mandalay Bay. I've stayed at Mandalay Bay, but I actually stayed at the other hotel, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was called at the time. I think it was called Delano at the time, but it's now the W.
Yeah, I've
But yeah,
stayed. I stayed at Delano one time on like an Amex
yeah,
offer just to
yeah.
use it. I never stayed at Mandalay Bay, although I worked there. I stayed at Luxor and Excalibur
See, I
before.
have not stayed there yet. But New York, New York, I feel like I want to stay at because I feel like eventually it's gonna go. But then again, like it would be pretty hard to de-theme that given the outside of it. So maybe it won't go. But
Yeah, I
then
think it's distinctive enough.
I never thought Mirage would go. So there we go. So yeah, I think if if my one nighter comes off in August, then maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the time for Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
Oh man, I openly admit I want to see her at the Coliseum.
That'd be
I
fun.
think that'd be a fun gig, and like there is no issue getting tickets to that gig, which is probably not good for her. But that,
Yeah,
that
well,
residency has plenty of tickets available, and not unreasonably priced either.
well, so much for Miss Independent.
I also don't think there's a bad seat really in the Coliseum, even if you're in like the back sections.
I have
I feel
literally
like,
sat in the worst seats there, and they aren't bad. I can confirm that.
yeah, exactly. So you could like, what is the worst seat there? Like the back row
So
of
they have
the
in the very upper level, the very back row. I think they only have them in like 3 of the sections too. They're sections of 2 by themselves, right up against the wall.
oh,
They are the
okay,
cheapest ones, and they're their own price point too. Like the row in front of it and everything else is more expensive. I have stayed there once to see, was it Reba, Brooks and Dunn? I was in those like very back seats,
nice.
and like actually, it's a fun story. I was gonna go see the Who with my buddy in those exact same seats. It was just kind of like a last minute, like let's just get the cheapest tickets we can before let's get in the building kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't sell out. Most notably, the like the pit, the orchestra pit didn't sell out. And so for the big players and stuff like that, they want to make it seem like we comped you valuable tickets and stuff. So they put people down there. So as soon as they scanned our tickets, it like beeped or whatever, and they're like, oh, you got to go see this person at this table. They gave us, it was like row 7, I think, from like technically row 7, but like it curved, like their stage curves into the crowd. So like we were at the end of it. Literally, my elbow was on the stage.
Wow. So you went from the cheapest seats to some of the best seats.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not quite the best because you're coming from the side, right?
Yeah.
But still, like when you, yeah, compared to what the alternative would have been, we were ready for that. It was fine. Like you said, there's no really true bad seat in the house there, but
I was going to
yeah, it's
say
really cool to be close.
what makes that seat bad? Just the fact that it's against the wall.
Oh, nothing really makes it bad. I'm just saying if there was a bad seat, it would be
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. It's the worst seat of a.
It is the cheapest
worst,
seat, so in theory, they are saying it is the worst seat as well. So
but it's actually a pretty good seat.
yeah, it's fine.
So anyway, so back to New York, New York. I think I want to stay there, just to say I have.
You got to ride the roller coaster.
Yeah, because I did once. I've never ridden the roller coaster, and I'm not sure I want to. I've heard it's painful.
It's okay. I haven't ridden it recently, but I've ridden it a few times.
I mean, I'd probably ride it if it was comped.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
I'm
like
sure if I,
$25 or something.
yeah, I know. I'm not paying $25 to go on like a
Well,
roller
call
coaster.
call up your host and be like, hey, like
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm sure it could be comped. I just
comp my resort fees and 1 roller coaster ride, and then I'll be happy.
and then I'll do whatever you want. No, so yeah, I guess maybe I'll. You know what? Sometimes it's good to do those touristy things. You know, I haven't done a lot of the touristy stuff in years because it's, you know, I've been there, I've done it, I've got the T-shirt. It's been more about coming in and doing the gambling. But maybe I want to, like, maybe I will ride the roller coaster, or I don't know, ride the high roller or something. You know,
You ever
it's
been on the
a
high
while.
roller?
Yeah, I did the happy hour one, which
The
like
happy half hour.
yeah, which sounds like a good idea until you realize there's no bathroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like I did that on like one of my first trips. I used to do a lot more sort of seeing live music and stuff. I saw. Do you remember when Britney had her residency at Planet Hollywood? I saw
I
her
do
there.
remember.
It was basically her miming on stage. And
Allegedly.
yeah. And was it Matt Franco? Is that a magician? I'm sure I saw him.
He is a magician. I don't.
Is he still? Yeah, is he still around? I don't know. And also
Great
the
question.
guy.
There's a lot of magic shows in town that
Yeah.
that kind of come and go, and I maybe it's just not my thing. I couldn't tell you about them. I just know that I sound like they've been there, or maybe they still are.
This was on one of my earliest trips, so this is when I was a little bit of a Vegas newbie. And then the other one was the guy that used to be at Paris that was the hypnotist. I can't remember his name. But yeah, that was a fun show. It was like, I'm pretty sure I got that comped. I can't remember.
Were you hypnotized?
No, I did not elect to be hypnotized. He did this thing where he needed volunteers because he said basically if you're not open to it, it doesn't work. But then you think, well, are they volunteers or are they stooges?
Right.
Anyway.
Well, and plus, you should have known that like 6 years down the road, you'd be like a big podcaster.
Yeah.
And you should have tried being hypnotized just for the stories.
Just for the podcast that I didn't know yet existed.
Well, you had to know.
Yeah, that must have definitely been comped because that's not the sort of thing I would choose to pay to see.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And I've also never been to any of the like the burlesque shows or anything like that. You know, like they do the X Country and then they do the zombie one and whatever else. I've never been to those.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I have some
So
friends that have, but
I was going to say I can't comment on that sort of stuff. But yeah, I really am thinking Kelly Clarkson. I think that's going to be it. The dates kind of work. If I can make it work, I may spend the night. And probably at New York, New York, New York. So apologies to you.
Wow.
So, well, sometimes it's good to, to be different, to flirt with another company.
Well, I hope you hit 0 jackpots. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, because
No, I mean, I hope you clean them out. Honestly,
yeah, exactly.
I always jokingly say that to clients. I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna cheat on me, I hope that you win a whole bunch there. And if you're gonna lose, maybe it's a good spot to lose. Yeah, if you're gonna. I mean, obviously, I hope you win anyways. But
well, yeah, exactly. If I lose every time, I'm not going to come back, right? So
yeah, it's true.
That's the thinking. How's everything going with the night starts here and all that? Is that still going?
And it's slamming. There's tons of people in there all the time. So yeah, it's definitely cruising along.
Because I have to be honest, I kind of figured that was going to die by now. I don't mean that in
very much alive.
I kind of figured it was going to be one of those things that was around for a few months and then slowly disappeared. But it seems to have done well for Golden Gate.
I will say, based off of what sometimes ends up in my Twitter mentions, you do need to actually play a bit when you come to get the free play from the night starts here. Like they do have, it's not a high expectation. It's a very low bar, but actively make it seem like you play a bit if you're gonna just get the free play and stuff. That's kind of a
surely tip. If you're playing the free, if you're playing the free play, so you're saying don't just play the free play, but then play a little bit after you the free play.
Yeah, I mean, use it to. It starts your night, right? Use it to play a little bit. Hopefully, you win a jackpot or something. If you get a $5 or $10 free play voucher and just cycle it, then you may or may not still get that opportunity the next time.
But also, what's the point of let's say I get $5 free play and I double it. I mean, I'm walking away with $10. No way am I walking away with $10. I'm putting that back in.
Right.
I don't have to
maybe put in another 20 or something.
Yeah.
Especially with slot machines, you win with ammo. You're not, it's very rare you're just going to get lucky on one of your first handful of spins. So you got to kind of give yourself a couple whacks at it. And
yeah,
you got to put a bit of, I get it means you could also lose a bit more than you wanted to if you have to put the kind of credit into it to get there. But you got to play a lot, especially a lot of the new format ones. You're really only making a return if you hit a bonus. So you got to kind of hang around a bit and try and get a bonus too, rather than just play off $10 and just be like, oh well, I didn't hit the grand. So
I like to look at it as an investment, and this is not any kind of investment advice. So please don't take that literally.
It's a deposit for later.
I mean, and I have done the night starts here 3 or 4 times, and strangely, I have actually done quite well quite early on. I mean, I obviously have got lucky, but with that top dollar machine that they had, I think they've actually changed that machine out now. But also Lightning Link, the space one. I did well on that with free play, and then proceeded to give it all back. But that's slot machines.
Well, I mean, that's kind of free play in general for a real player. It's just kind of, it gets you warmed up, and then you're ready to go with your money. So.
I'd be interested to know how listeners who get free play, no matter the amount, choose to play it. So, do you, for instance, say this is free play, I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to play, maybe normally you play, I don't know, $5 a spin, maybe you play $25 a spin, because you're like, this is free play. If I lose, I lose. But if I win, I win well. So I'm going to swing for it. I'm going to go for it. Or do people use their free play as part of their regular bankroll? Or, I don't know, do you split it up across days? Do you save it till the end of your trip?
Or do you try to just completely maximize what you get out of the free play?
Yeah, do you
and then now it's cash and you play like normal? Do you get on a video poker game or something like that and then just play basic strategy on video poker just so you can maybe
convert it to
lose
cash.
5 to 10% of your free play bankroll, and then now you got cash, and now you go play like you normally do. I don't know.
Yeah, and playing with that cash gets you points. Those important player points.
Yes, playing with free play does not.
I have done multiple different methods of this over the years. I mean, I have definitely done let's convert this on video poker and then see how much I come away with, and then I'm going to gamble it anyway, but I might as well earn comps. So I've done that. I have also done the swing for the fences, kind of, because I did it on a 100 play dollar video poker, like $500 press. And I hit a hand pay that was my first, because I always play my free play straight away, because I always think, well, let's see how long I can play on house money, in terms of converting it, and then whatever I use out of before I hit anything I brought with me. So yeah, that was the first press of the trip at Cosmo, and I hit for a few thousand, which was nice. I've also done that though before another trip, and you don't bust out because it's like 100-hand video poker, but you end up converting, I don't know, 700 in free play to 300 or whatever, which is not so great. I think that's probably been my most success, actually, swinging for the fences.
Yeah, well, it helps too that since you're a foreigner, you don't have to pay the taxes, or at least you're the right kind of foreigner, I guess we should say.
Yes, exactly. So I have to pay any tax. Yeah, so that's true.
Yes.
And that makes it even better, because then you can convert even more of it. So yeah, I'd be interested to know how people do that. So, you can tweet us. You can find me at Las Vegas UK. You can tweet at Lights and Dice. You can email us, studio@lightsanddice.com. I want to know, how do you use your free play? What is your favorite way to use it? And perhaps what is the way in which you have decided gets you the best return? And maybe we can talk about that on a future episode.
We can. I like it. Speaking of slots and stuff, though, we just had kind of an exciting event, Slotapalooza, the other day, where I got to take a picture with Corn Squelius from Rick and Bacon.
I was going to say, you kept sending me pictures, and I'm like, why are you next to this creature?
Yeah, it was Corn Squelius on one of the days, and then I don't know if he's got a name, but the wolf from Huff and More Puff, or Huff and Even More Puff, or Huff and More Puff Mansions Edition, or Huff and Puff Have We Had Enough?
Yeah, I mean, I am getting a bit fed up of Huff and More Puff and Puff and Puffy.
Well, so you would say you've had enough.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's going to be the next version, isn't it?
It's already out.
Of Huff and Puff.
I tweeted it a couple months ago, too. I was like, but have we really had enough, though?
So what's it called?
No, it's like Huff and Puff, We've Had Enough, I think. But they spell enough with Fs.
That is kind of genius.
Yeah.
As much as that's I'm done with Huff and Puff games, that is kind of genius. I kind of like that. Whoever came out with that has done well.
Whoever named Corn Squelius, that's a pretty good move, too.
There must be whole departments in these companies that are just coming up with these ideas, and then every so often they hit it big.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just round tables, and then we go to lunch, and then come back after a couple beers, and I bet we increase our
Because think of all those
naming.
Slot machines that never last. And for a while we had that phase of everything was brand name stuff. So there was the Britney slot machine, there was the Madonna
Elvira
slot machine, there was the and her boobies. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the double D bonus.
Yeah, that you don't see that anymore. Yeah.
Not really.
That was quite popular too at the time. And there was the Harley Davidson game that was popular too. You don't really see that anymore. Yeah. Whereas, obviously, things like Buffalo have lasted, but I don't think even Wheel of Fortune's as big as it was. I don't think that's
No, they keep trying to do new ones of that, too.
Yeah. Whereas, Top Dollar's kind of survived. Obviously, Huff and Puff is big. Dragon Link and Lightning Link, those Link games, everything is...
Spooky Link, too, now.
Yeah, that's true. So it'd be interesting to see how...
Mummy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how those games... if they're still around in, I don't know, 5 years' time. Because there was certainly some of those games that we mentioned, I would have said 5 years ago would still be around today in some form, even in an updated form. And I don't think that's necessarily the case.
So you know how we look at it there's retro slots or classic slots, like the One Reel or something like that.
Yeah.
What if 10 years from now, the original Huff and Puff is a classic slot in your high limit room.
Yeah, no, that would make me feel old.
Yeah.
But
Then
that
we
could
really would have had
definitely
enough.
that definitely could happen.
It might. You're gonna have
Yeah.
like players that are like, I only play the classics, the original Huff and Puff, or Huff
Yeah.
and even more Puff.
It'll be a shame when when we finally see that. Well, if we ever see, do you think we'll ever see the death of the traditional like slot machines with the reels, or do you think that they'll always be around in some way, shape, or form, like Double Diamond and stuff?
I think they'll be around in some way or form, especially because they
Yeah,
keep like redoing them in different ways. Like pinball's been revitalizing a lot of those too.
yeah, I like pinball. Plus, retro is kind of a thing, right? Like a popular thing in many spheres of life. So
Yes.
maybe retro gaming, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, part of this Slotapalooza event is they bring some of their new machines for like there's like a VIP event the night before. It's kind of like
Mm.
a G2E that's open to the public, kind of.
So who
So
came
it's
up
kind
with
of
this
cool to see some
idea?
of their new stuff. One of
Who?
our slot directors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So like they just brought in new machines for people to try out, but
Yeah, on
like
one day. So like we partner with the slot vendors and stuff, so they have a big hand in it too. They hand out free play. They hand out like giveaway stuff. Like there was like a foam mummy for Mo Mummy, and then of course you saw my pictures with the wolf and with Corn Squelius.
yes. So
And then they have like a big kind of hot seat tournament kind of vibe too.
so could you actually play these machines for real money?
No, well, so I mean, this 2 day thing, right? So the first day
Yeah.
is like kind of the special event where it's like the same stuff they'll show off at G2E or similar conventions that's not out yet. You can't even take pictures of most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's almost certainly going to come out, but
Yeah.
there's
And
still
they-
concept machines.
but
And then
they
the
know
next
that.
day is just all on our floor. Like there's an open slot tournament. They like I said, there's that hour where there's the hot seat stuff. Like you can win 500 in free slot play like every couple minutes.
Nice.
So it's an eventful event. It's fun, especially in the middle of summer too. It's something to keep people busy.
Did you have many players come in for it?
A ton.
Nice.
Yeah. I think they loosely started it as a goal of having every machine in play all at once, and they got
And-
pretty damn close.
I was gonna say, did they manage it?
Yeah, I don't think they quite got there, but either way, you gotta always have room to grow, right?
Yeah, man, that sounds like my kind of event.
Well, I can assume it'll be this same weekend next
Yeah.
year.
It's probably just a tad too early for me with work. But who knows? Maybe next year. Sounds
Maybe.
like fun.
Well, yeah, I mean it's next year now. It has passed, so
Yes, I've missed it this year already. Gonna just have to
Yeah.
make do with Kelly Clarkson.
and starting your night at the Golden Gate.
Yeah, and starting my night at the Golden Gate. All right. Well, listen, I think we're gonna probably start wrapping things up. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not really. I mean, we're both going on vacation, so
Yeah,
we'll,
so
we'll be back
I
when
mean,
we can.
it's
I'm
been
I'm going to Warp Tour. Go do some emo stuff, rock out.
nice.
You know,
Yeah, it's been a
gonna
while
be on the
since we-
beach.
It's been a while since we did an episode, but I think we've said before, I'm not a fan of just putting out an episode for episode's sake, and there hasn't been a huge amount, aside from the World Cup. There hasn't been a huge amount going on. So we will be back with another episode at some point in the next few weeks, I'm sure. But don't
Yeah,
be
we can-
don't be panicking if you don't see any more episodes for a while, because we, as I said, we want good quality content, not just us droning on for 45 minutes about anything.
Yeah, and we know that we've become kind of a quasi sports podcast as well. Although the thing with World Cup though is it made sense. It brought everybody together. I thought it was really Vegas and casino related. Really, like I saw
Yeah.
tons of clips from Hippodrome too, obviously of everybody watching there. And yeah, I think it just really it's something that brings the world together, kind of like the Olympics, maybe even bigger. So I think it's a cool way to relate to the casino industry,
Especially if you're betting on it.
especially well, you got to be betting on it. What are
Yeah.
you doing if you're not, right?
Well, exactly. And hopefully winning money on it.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, where can people find you? I already kind of got my handles out there, but did you? I can't remember if you did.
I am on Twitter at Chris Waterman17. Been tweeting a lot more lately, so you're welcome if you follow me. Maybe you should if you don't.
Yeah, you can go and check out the photos of you and the slot creatures
Corn Squelius.
called Squeedius. Oh, man. Yes.
Man, I don't know who makes Rake and Bacon, which machine company it is, but they probably owe us royalties at this point. So,
Oh, I'm gonna have to play that game now next time I'm in town.
have you not played Rake and Bacon before?
I have, but not in a long time.
I mean,
feel
like
like
this is
it's
obviously like a new version. There's like an Oktoberfest version. There's
yeah.
like a Rake and even more bacon and Rake and yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's
You get the
every
point,
that
but
make that one, but I don't know.
maybe
Yeah.
or in
Any
Squealius.
any pig themed game is a good game.
Yes, well, clearly people like pigs.
Well, clearly you two
Hens
too.
too, I think.
All right. Well, we will leave it there. You go and check Chris's Twitter out. Go and look at his photos, or his X, I should say. It's not Twitter anymore. Go and look at his photos with Corn Squealius. Please, if you've enjoyed this, share it around, get it out there to your friends. Feel free to drop a review on wherever you're listening. We love to read them. And remember to email in and let us know how you use your free play so we can talk about that next episode. The email address is studio@lightsanddice.com, and you can find us on X under the same handle. Chris, it's been a pleasure, as always.
Steve, it has, as always.
Have a great evening, and we'll be back soon.